watch out for that. That hurt. Holy smokes. I might have to call 911. Today on In the Wood Yard, I'm gonna fix a big mistake that I made. So a few days ago, I delivered wood to a customer. Now, this is a customer that has bought wood from me for 5-6 years, and he always gets 1/3 of a cord of oak. And he always gets it this time of year, and he burns it in his fireplace, and he's very particular. He wanted oak every single time. And he's one of those kind of guys that when you pull into his place, you can tell. Very meticulous, very. The lawn is like perfect. The edging is perfect. The decorations are perfect. It's just clean, 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 nothing about it. His vehicles are just spotless all the time. His garage is enamel floor, and it's nicer than my house, his garage. So he's that guy. And in talking with him, I didn't know what he did. I had talked to him several times about, different kinds of wood, and I had told him that you might want to try some other kinds of wood. You always get oak. I said, but if you're burning in a fireplace, you're not burning it really for heat. He said, no, but I just like oak. I said, well, I do have other kinds. I said, I went through the list. I said, I got hard maple, I got ash, I got locust, I got hickory, I got cherry, I got soft maple, I got elm. I kind of went through all the stuff. And he says, well, I really like the oak. So for 4 years in a row, 4 or 5, whatever it's been, he's always gotten oak. Well, this year he says, hey, you mentioned last year that you had this other kind of wood, and I'd like to try something. What would you recommend? It's like, well, that opens up the door to me recommend whatever I want. So I said, well, personally, I really like cherry, which this is the cherry bin right here. I said, that's what I like to burn. That and just mixed hardwood. I said, in a fireplace, you don't need to have, the best wood there is for heat. It's to see the flame and to enjoy it. I said, I've burned everything. I said, everything from the softest wood there is, white pine all the way up to hickory, ironwood, it doesn't matter. I said, I burn it all, I don't care. And he said to me, well, I'd like to maybe try some other stuff. Yeah, and when he said, what would you recommend? I says, well, I'd try some cherry. He said, okay, that sounds good. And he said, but I don't want very much. He says, I want almost all oak and just a little bit of cherry. I said, fine. So when I wrote up his slip, I circled the oak, and then I just, over to the side, I put plus cherry. So that was 2 weeks before I did the delivery that he ordered it, because he picked a specific time and day that I was going to deliver it. Well, when I got to doing the loading of the wood for the delivery, I pulled up a slip, I saw his name, I think, oh, oak guy. And I didn't look at my notes. And I had written on there that he wanted a little bit of cherry, and I told him, I said, I'll bring you just like a couple armfuls or something. He said, that sounds good, just so we can try it out. Well, I got there, I dumped the wood out, and so he starts looking at it. He says, this all looks like oak. I said, yeah, it is. I said, that's what you always get. He says, well, I thought you were going to bring me a little bit of cherry. I said, oh, sorry. I said, I forgot all about it. I said, I'll get you some. I said, next time I come through this area here, I'll just drop off a couple armfuls, because I go to that town once a week, once every other week. Well, it's been 2 weeks since I delivered to him now. And he texted me this morning and says, hey, are you still thinking you're going to drop off that wood sometime? I'm going to be gone next week. I said, I will do it today. And then he texted me back and says, hey, I'm going to be at my sister's house in 2 days. So today's Friday. He's going to be there Sunday. She literally lives 2 houses down from me. And because I had seen him in the neighborhood before I saw his truck, so I knew who he was. And I said, yeah, I think your sister lives right by me there. He says, yeah. I said, I think so. So I'm going to take some cherry, and I'm just going to leave it at his sister's house, which is 2 houses down from mine, and I don't have to take it to him. He says, that sounds great. So what all this boils down to is that when you make a mistake, fix it. Fix it as fast as you can. Fix it the right way. Apologize, admit your mistake. Be a bigger person, and don't not care. I mean, care. It might cost me some time and money to do this. It's going to cost me some time and money to do this. I'm not going to make any money doing this now, but I will later, because he's going to tell people, hey, he admitted he made a mistake. He fixed it. He brought me some stuff. It's great wood. Maybe he'll order some, but he'll tell people that I fixed the problem. And I can use this as a reference point, that if anytime anybody has an issue, let me know. I'll fix it. I don't care what it takes. In my main business, my photography business, we have our products so that they are as the highest level we can possibly produce. And if there is a problem of any kind, I replace it. We have them bring it back to us. So if it's say it's a wall portrait, a 60 by 20, 24, and it's in a frame, and there's one little speck of something that I didn't see on the photograph, if they notice it, don't like it, bring it back, I'll remake it. If they get it and they put it on the wall and they say, oh, it looks kind of dark. And I know I print them according to what they should be, but maybe they don't have any light in that room, so bring it back, I make it a little lighter. If they get it and they don't like the frame that's on it, bring it back. Pick out a different frame. We just figure out the difference because I'll use the frame for somebody else. Just make the problem go away for them and they will be more loyal to you. Be a person of integrity and do the right thing by taking care of your customers. It is the best thing you can do. When you make a mistake, that's an opportunity to fix a problem for someone that will speak highly of you and give you references and give you referrals. It's the best thing you can do. When someone has a problem, when they come to you because they've had a bad experience with another supplier, say they got wood that was not the right amount, they got less than what they ordered. Say the wood they got was green and it couldn't burn. That's a huge opportunity to be the guy. Do the right thing and then just tell them, I'll take care of you. And then make sure they've got what they need to get their fires going. Maybe taking some kindling. Let them know, do not burn this wood because the wood that you got from this person is not dry at all. It's going to be very wet. It's going to be hard to get going. It's going to be hard to keep going. And it's going to smoke a lot and you're going to get a lot of creosote buildup if you try to burn this wet wood. Do not burn it. The good news is next year it'll be good. So let it sit a year. Burn this wood. And I even tell them, I've had people that will say, well, I'll get the wood started, in the fireplace with your wood and then I'll put some of this other stuff on it. I tell them, no, don't do that. Yes, you can get it to burn, but that moisture in that wood is going to create creosote and you could possibly have problems in your stove or in your pipes in your chimney. Don't burn it. Just let it sit a year. It's kind of like money in the bank. It'll be good next year. Well, kind of. Money in the bank kind of depreciates. All right, we're going to get some sherry in here, and I'm actually going to bundle a couple of big bundles for them and then drop them off. All right, so I decided to do this right. I loaded the wood into the wheelbarrow. You saw that from the back of the truck, and I brought it in here to this is where I store all my chainsaw stuff in my storage room in the back. It's furnace room. There's 2 furnaces here for my building, and then I got shelves behind the camera. There's shelves off to the side. There's shelves over there, and then my office is off to the side. And I decided to bring it in. I'm just going to bundle these. It'll be easier for me to handle later. It'll be great for him. He'll like it. I'm probably going to end up with 3 or 4 bundles, I think, here. I got a wheelbarrow full, so we're going to bundle it because I got a bundler. Might as well use it, so that's what we're going to do right now. All right, so we're going to do some bundling here, and this will be kind of nice. It's not cold in here. It's 64, 65 degrees. There's no wind. This would be really nice to have a area for doing bundling where it was heated like this. That would be awesome. I'm going to make these bundles big. I'm just going to pack them in and go as maximum as I can on these just because I want fewer bundles. Whoopsie. Watch out for that. Watch out for that. That hurt. That's what happens when you step on the wrapper. Now that came around, it got me right in the chest here, and it hurt. Holy smokes! I might have to call 911. I think that's getting pretty full. I think that looks pretty good. One more up on top here. That. Let's see if it's going to clear here. I better back this up just a bit. There we go. All right. There we go. I just had to take off that much wrap because there's a scar. I don't know if you guys can see it here. I must have rubbed it against something and nicked it. Well, now it wants to stick to itself and keep shredding, so I just took off a bunch of wrap. So let's see if this will work. Give it a second try here. better. All right, there's one big, massive bundle. Ooh, that's heavy. Look at the size of that. It's a thing of beauty. We'll set that over here. So I'll put it right back in the wheelbarrow once I get these wrapped. All right, put some gloves on so I don't get any owies. Ooh, that's heavy. There we go. I think that's enough. That's 3 massive bundles. These are big ones. These are big ones. There's probably 40 pounds a piece, at least. I know they're heavy. There we go. Let's go throw them in the truck. These are big and heavy. There we go. I will drop those off when I go home, and then I'll be done for today. That's all I got for today, folks. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. with another video. Right now, go watch all the other videos on my channel. There's 2,000 waiting for you right now. Good night, everybody.